Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I hope that the audio and just everything in general looked a little bit shinier and better. I've made a lot of improvements to the channel over the last week, so I hope that it shows in the screen and just the quality in general of the video. But of course, you're not here for that. You're here for some L Word Generation Q Season 2 updates. Now, these are just pretty much little updates that have come through the grapevine, come through some news from some other shows that have gone back to filming, and just things from Showtime and some insiders in general. So it's nothing monumentous, but considering for so long we've had no news at all, any news is good news. Don't forget, at any point, if you enjoy the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, as it really helps the channel out. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing, and you will be notified every single time that I upload L Word Generation Q Season 2 info. And as always, if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, let me know down in the comments section as well. So just starting off with a little recap of the news that we do already know is that the show is going back to film in November next month. So very soon. I'm assuming that it will be mid to the end of November, but obviously not the very end because that's Thanksgiving in the US. But over the next week or two, we should see social media either go quiet, or people like Jennifer Beals, who's in Canada, and the actresses who play Gigi and Danny, that they're all making their way from the East Coast over to California. I'm sure everybody saw that Showtime put out like a little Generation Q go and vote early video on social media. And even more than the actresses who were just in that video, it seems like most of the cast has voted early. And again, that's just another little thing that they seem to be voting early in their home state because they're going to be making their way over to California soon and probably won't be in their home states on November 3rd. Casting wise, we have some definite news on who is coming back for season 2. I mean, to no one's surprise, Jennifer Beals, Leisha Haley, Kate Manning, the main cast, and of course all the new main cast, Danny, Sophie, Micah, Finley, and there's also some of the people who weren't leads last season, but Gigi and Tess are coming back. I think they're coming back as season regulars, so we should be able to get a bit more of them. Personally, Gigi was one of my favorites from last season, and I really liked Tess, the character, as well. And both of them only had very minor roles, so I definitely like to see more Gigi and Tess. Nat, of course, Alice's girlfriend, is coming back as well. There's no news about the priest, whether she'll be coming back. And of course, the person that most people are concerned about whether she's coming back is Tina. And while we haven't seen a piece of paper that's signed saying she's going to do X amount of episodes, from Jennifer Beals and Laurel Holloman herself, they've said she is going to come back, but it is up in the air about how many episodes. And that obviously was pre-pandemic. So Laurel was supposed to do a show in July in London, and that has been pushed until July 2021. But obviously all the work for the show is already done, and it could free up her time, but we'll see how many episodes we get her for. She was very generous and gave us 2 out of 8 last season, so hopefully we get her for even more episodes in season 2. Last time they did keep the whole Tina thing like really under wraps, and again, in this day and age, to be able to keep that a secret, I know people speculated about it, and about 2 weeks before we did see that IMDb post that someone had credited her for the 2 episodes, episode 6 and 7, which ended up being true. But I remember even the day before the episode came out, Like, you know, some people were saying, oh, it's going to happen. And they were citing that as evidence. And some people were just like, no, there's no way. She's been retired from acting. There's no chance. And they really kept it a secret. So again, impressive. But I hope that in a way, I kind of hope they do keep it a secret, because it is so fun to be surprised that way. But then also, I'd love to get the exclusive. So hit me up anytime. Elwood, cast, crew, producers, Showtime. Let me know and I'll break the news for you. But yeah, either way, I mean, it'll just be great if we get Laurel for any amount of episodes that she can do, because I do appreciate she has a totally new career as well. So on to some of the things we can be expecting to see on the set. We are going to hopefully get some behind the scenes and exclusives. There's still no word on whether Leisha and Kate are going to continue to do the Pants podcast. I really hope they do. And I mean, they probably will have to, you know, do some little bit of magic, but they do have an office at the set, and, you know, I'm sure it will be a scheduling nightmare, but being they work together in the same place, hopefully they can figure something else out. Things on the set are going to be completely different now. The scripts are completely digitized. There's no paper scripts or anything like that, because again, it's just unnecessary touching. And I mean, it's good for the environment too. So they're putting everything on iPads, and that is just, you know, eliminating one other source of people handling things, but also leaving things places and having to give them back. I think no one will be surprised to hear that COVID testing is going on for cast, crew, writers, producers, everybody who's on the set. And most shows, I know Grey's Anatomy, are testing their cast 3 times a week, which is pretty much, you know, every other day that they're going to be working. And I don't know how many of you have had a COVID test, but it's not fun. As pretty much anyone who watches my channel knows, where I live, we do not have COVID. We have not had COVID for 6 months. We had a really minor outbreak in April. We went into a super strict lockdown. Like, when I went out in my car, the police would stop me and like ask me where I was going. And we did that for a couple of weeks, and for the last 6 months, we have had no COVID. I'm going to dinner tonight with my friends, 12 people. Life is 100% normal here. We do not have any limitations. Like, I can go down the street and hug 100 people if I want to right now. But of course, when you leave the island and you come back, you have to isolate for 2 weeks. And if you don't do it, I think we're the only place in the world who's doing this, but you will go to jail. Like, if you Google right now, Isle of Man, COVID, jail, you'll see all the people that have been locked up for violating it, which, you know, okay, read the rules. But what I'm trying to get to is, for a while, you're not allowed to do this anymore. When you come back on day 7, instead of doing the 14 days, you could get a test. And when I took my brother to university, I did that. And you just drive up, you stay in your car, they come up to your window and they get like a Q-tip and they stick it up your nose. But your eyes will water, and they stick it up there for like a good 5-7 seconds. And that doesn't sound long, but when someone is literally putting a Q-tip like up towards your brain, it's a long time. I only had it the once, and it was just to, you know, so I could get out of isolation early. But yeah, it was not fun. And I mean, yes, they're living the dream and working on a show and stuff, but I'm sure some of them will be like, oh my God, we have to get a COVID test every other day. But it's a couple of seconds of uncomfortableness to go on and keep doing your job and doing what you love. So hopefully they see it as a necessary thing, and that it's not going to bother them too much. Some of the perks and creature comforts are going to be massively changed or taken away. So things like the green room, which is normally where you hang out in between scenes of shooting and get ready, and it's where, you know, they'll have like craft services, food table and drinks and whatever you want, and everybody just kind of like sits and chills and chats and things. So obviously that is a huge no-no. Like there's going to be no food or anything like that. Everything is completely separated out. So if you picture, you know, the director's chair that everybody sees on set, like all the actresses have their chair with their name on it. So they're all got these huge, like, they're like big see-through garbage bags, and they're over the top of the chairs, so that obviously you can change it anytime someone sits in one. And the director's chair is right in the middle, and it's like a box around the chair, and then everybody spaced out, of course. And there's just no, like, it's like a bare room, and completely, you know, floors that can be swept and sanitized and everything changed in between each scene that's shot, and everybody is to go back to their trailers. There's not really like any socializing in between scenes or hanging around and watching another scene, because the crew and everything is massively scaled back. So it's just absolutely like skeleton staff of who is absolutely necessary to be there. Hair and makeup is another big change. Whenever the pandemic was like right at its height and lockdown was going on, I know the Good Morning Britain like news anchors were doing their own hair and makeup, but for hair and makeup on, you know, the L Word Generation Q and other shows, Grey's Anatomy is one that I've mentioned as well. The hair and makeup people, of course, face shields, PPE, everything that they can, because when you're doing hair and makeup, I mean, for hair, the cast will keep the masks on, but whenever they are having to get their makeup done, like you have to take off the mask. Like, what are you gonna do? So they are just keeping it to spaced out seats, bare minimum, no, you know, no mass, everybody in there at the same time getting hair and makeup done, and keeping the hair and makeup people as safe as they can be with like the huge face shields, so that when they are doing that kind of intricate work of hair and makeup, that everybody's as safe as it can be. And one of the last things that has been mentioned and also seen on other shows that have already gone back is the plexiglass that's being used. They basically have a huge screen of plexiglass, and it's on wheels, like desk chair wheels, and whenever they're like normally when they shoot the L Word, which is like a multicam, so if you're shooting me and I'm having a conversation with you guys on this side of the camera, like my camera right now, will face me, and normally the other person that's speaking, the back of their head you would see here, so the camera would and that person will get really close to the back of the camera and then shoot my face. So shoot the entire thing facing me doing my reactions to the lines and my lines. Then they turn it around, and I will have the camera behind me and have my head as close to the camera as possible, and they'll shoot the entire scene of the person on that side doing their lines, doing their reaction to my lines. And then most other multicams will shoot this way and have the whole scene with both of us talking. And then some other shows, the way they set it up, they will, you know, something like The Office, if they're trying to portray that it's a scene that they're kind of shouldn't be filming and shouldn't be seeing, do it like behind a door where you can see the door and you can kind of feel like, oh, we're, you know, seeing something that we shouldn't be seeing. And, you know, that sometimes they shoot they'll go across the room and shoot it that way, so that you can cut all this footage together, and whenever I'm saying my lines, you get me saying it. If you're going for a big reaction and someone's saying like, oh, I love you, then you want to see the reaction on their face, and you just cut between the dialogue with the two people. So with the plexiglass, they will be able to still have those scenes like that, but where if I'm being filmed and it's the camera's here, they're filming this person, they can put the plexiglass here for me, so you're still being able to get this good close shot, but people aren't being, you know, super close to each other and breathing and coughing and spluttering on top of each other. And then also if you're having a scene where someone's having an argument or anything like that and they do need to get close, you can put that plexiglass in there too. And, you know, people are clever and they're going to be able to try and make this work and trying to stay socially distanced and make this stuff work. So they will shoot through the plexiglass too and try and make it so that everybody can stay as safe as possible, while also not having to compromise on the scene and doing something like the mannequin thing, which I still have not had confirmation that this is not being done, but I will link it in the cards above. There's a New York Times article about them possibly using mannequins in intimate scenes, and there was 3 shows mentioned, and the L Word Generation Q was one of the shows, and they also talked to the showrunner Marja. So yeah, I'm really hoping they're not going to use the mannequins. One last thing that I did talk about in my last filming update video, and it's something that I will be honest and say this is just something I've thought of. It's no confirmation. No one has told me this. This has not come from anywhere. But considering that they are so limited on what they can do, you know, for people getting close to each other, people kissing, and we all know scenes like that are a huge part of the L Word, but I'm just saying they're in a really lucky position where this is their first season, but they also have 6 seasons of the previous L Word at their disposal, and they have a lot of Bet and Tina stock footage. I'm just putting that out there. So if in any way that helps them, that they can use Bet and Tina old footage to get them back together, I'm just saying that's a possibility. But I'm sure they won't base their decision on the fact that they have Bet and Tina stock footage. But I'm just saying it's there if they need it. And that is pretty much it for the L Word Generation Q Season 2 update. I'm sorry that is pretty technically and pandemic focused news, but it is great to hear that steps are being made to get the new season towards us, but also that the cast and crew are staying as safe as possible. Hopefully they are going to go back to film in November, and once filming gets underway, then we will start getting hopefully some news coming through from the set and what is going on. So definitely make sure that you are subscribed to my channel so that you can be notified anytime that I put a video up with L Word Generation Q Season 2 updates. And if you enjoyed the video at any point, please consider giving it a thumbs up, as it really helps out my channel. And if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, please pop them down in the comment section down below. And of course, no video on this channel would be complete without Miss G. She was having a little hide down there because I think she was a little bit jealous that I was giving the camera attention and not her. So Miss G just wanted to say hi. Yeah, say hi. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you from Miss G and I. I hope that you have a great weekend. Make sure to take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.